Hello, and thanks for joining us on this month's Mark IV Battle Report on Tried and True. We have a special Mark IV Warlock vs. Warlock showdown with two armies premiering on the channel for the first time. If you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing to the channel and keep up to date on our BatRep and podcast releases. If you would like to support the channel directly, a link to our Patreon can be found in the video description below. Huge thank you to our patrons for voting on this month's scenario. Our match today was recorded using the 2024 Steamroller Rules Scenario 3, Wolves at Our Heels. Welcoming to Tried and True for the first time is the Shadowflame Shard, led by the Spawn of Shadows, Rassyk. Their 75-point army is being led by returning Delaware Warmachine player Rick. Welcome back. Please tell us your list choices going into the game.
Hi guys, thanks for having me back. So today I am playing Rassyk, Spawn of Shadows. The spells that I racked with him today are Silence of Death and Carnivore. I have brought with me a Hydrix with the Diviner head as the central head, both smaller heads as the Venom Spitters, and the Spineback. I have 3 Vipix. 2 of them have the Viper head, Bladed Gale tail, and Impaler arms, with the third have the Ophiodon head, Hunter's Mark tail, and Cleavers. We have Belagul, Master of Pain, Quickfang, Windstrikers, a unit of Talon Death Dealers, and the unit of Wormspine Shadowmancers. My command cards today are Blessing of the Gods, defenses with all 3 of them being barrier, Duck and Cover, the new upgraded little card with there, Power Swell, and Savagery.
Also introducing for the first time on the channel is a ship full of raiding Brineblood Marauders, led by Admiral Boomhowler. Their 75-point army is being played by returning Delaware Warmachine player and podcast host Andy. Welcome back. Please discuss your thoughts going into the game.
Hi everybody, I'm playing Admiral Boomhowler. I racked Fortune, Fury Strength, and Rough Seas. I'm playing a Deepborn Dire Troll, single heavy, with the Angry Cantankerous head that gives me Rage, the Minnow Fin, the Anchor, and a Shark Skull Gauntlet. I'm playing my favorite Reef Troll outfit. I got the Ship's Gun, Ship's Wheel, the Matey Shield Guard head, and the Ale Tanker Farstrike Animus. I'm playing a single Booty Boss. I'm playing First Mate Harger Stormjaw for the accuracy buffs on all my Marauders. I'm bringing Madame Moriarty, a single Pig Cannon crew, 3 units of Marauders, one with one of each of the Bosun, Quartermaster, and Tapper. And then I'm playing double boarding party with both attachments with the Coxswain. My cards are Blessing of the Gods, Breakthrough, Careful Recon, Power Swell, and Put the Fires Out.
Can the Admiral, along with her pirate crew, repel a slithering army of dragon spawn? Let's get to the table and roll off.
Hi Rick.
What's up, Andy?
I am immediately moving that cloud out of here.
It blocks all the pretty models.
We are moving straight through the terrain.
No,
okay.
This is in 1X, right?
No. Stop tickling the cow. Okay. Hi everybody. We got a couple forests in the top with a beautiful little stream wrapping around. We're playing the guard tower as just an obstruction like a house today because guard tower rules.
Those rules are silly.
Yeah, they're a little bit nuts. We're playing the cows and little sheepy boys as sort of like walls. They're little obstacles. Then we got a bunch of rubble and a cloud low in the lower right. Rick won the roll to go first, so he's going to go first. Go get him, Rick.
Here I go. Alright, so I forget it every time, but Apparition. Haha, I did it. So, get the Apparition going, and then we move up the Vipix there with a little hop and jump. Get behind that barrier there that I did set up prior to our game, because that's how you do defenses. Rassyk's going to go ahead and get up there. He moves up to get within 6, so I can go ahead and get Carnivore. Nope, Silence of Death onto that model there, just in preparation since it's an upkeep. We go ahead and get the Hydrix up front there behind that other little wall that was in the middle of the table there, just to create some presence in the middle of the board with those Venom cannons. I move up the other Vipix to Rassyk, who also has up the battle plan for the +2 armor and no knockdown. He gets base to base with Rassyk, just to be safe. Third Vipix runs up over the wall because of Pathfinder, not needing to worry about the reduction in movement speed. And then I get the Death Dealers to go ahead and run up here and get base to base with the Vipix as well to gain that armor buff and no knockdown. Belagul will hide behind that barrier, and then I will get the Shadowmancers to get into their position to slowly apparate up the board.
Oh man, it's been a while. This is like breakneck speed here. So here we go. I am doing my best to hide from your entire army right here. I'm trying to find sight lines that you can't quite see through, so I'm basically just saying, alright, I'm going to hide these pigs in the middle of the table, and hopefully they can't get shot off the board turn 2. We are playing on wolves at our heels today, which is a pretty fast-paced scenario. I am moving up my light beast, my reef troll. Boomy says, kill that guy, and he goes, yes ma'am, and he boosts damage and absolutely cranks it, and removes that armor 17, 5 box? Is he 5 boxes?
He is 8 boxes.
Yeah, just
and
removes that man from the game. This is why I love this beast. He just does work turn over turn at range 15, and I need to get that Fury out anyway, so it's just nice as a little shield guard when I need it, and gun platform when I don't.
Yeah.
I am running up my Marauders. This is the Bosun unit. I'm kind of swinging a little bit wide with them and going pretty far up because they do have Vengeance, so if you do try and do anything to them specifically, they get the Vengeance forward and be annoying further up the board. I'm trying to hide my Tapper unit behind the guard tower up there. I run them up knowing that you probably can't see them through that forest, and hoping that they can contest that 40 mil zone on the top left there. I am ambushing my other unit of pigs, and I haven't decided what to do with them just yet. I walked up with Boomy. I cast Avenging Force on her, and then I cast Fortune onto my Quartermaster unit. The Quartermaster recently got a rework. This man is terrifying. He's essentially a 4-point solo that you staple to the unit now.
Don't like it.
He's very scary. Anybody playing into Brinebloods and they're bringing a Quartermaster unit, target that one first. Sorry, other Brinebloods players. Boomy, I believe, gave that unit Battle Plan Repo 3. I tried to spread them out because I am aware that this unit is probably target number 1. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to run up Harger Stormjaw to try and block line of sight to Boomy because I'm playing into Chimera, and I am aware that anytime a Chimera player gets line of sight within 15, 16 inches of a caster, their eyes light up, so that terrifies me. I am centrally locating the Heavy Beast, realizing that you're probably going to get blast damage if you shoot it, but it's okay. We're just going to try and move that up and get it a little up there. The Booty Boss gives set defense to the Quartermaster unit in case you charge in with something and maybe the first one you miss. I did not feat this turn, so I've kind of just positioned aggressively to see what you're going to do.
Yep, so we go ahead and I did it. I made Fury work for me. I didn't go crazy. I remember my apparition.
And you apparated twice in a row?
Twice in a row. I'm very proud of myself. I've been really enjoying just having them like run into like an initial position after round 1, and then just like they apparate every turn farther and farther away from each other until I'm like, oh, I need all of them over here, and then they all just teleport.
It's the old Aaron's trick.
It's super fun. So then we go ahead. I get in the tank a little bit as far as like where am I going to kind of put some stuff, because I've been noticing a lot with Chimera is that like I need to like try to punch out a lot of stuff, or like punch a hole to try to get to casters, or try to just straight up win out on the attrition versus winning the scenario quickly. I also have a unit of ambushers in my Quick Fangs, and definitely was in the conversation of if I was going to go ahead and bring them on this turn. And so that's kind of like why I was in that tank for a little bit to figure out exactly how I was going to handle things, because I wanted to try to still be able to score my objective on my turn, or on the end of your turn, if things weren't up there. So at least I could contest it when your guys can't go up there and score onto it on your turn and skew the scenario that much farther. So, we do have a conversation about if I should ambush or not. I believe here shortly after doing some measuring and ranges and things like that, for like rough seas and all that kinds of things, that I do.
Oh, and Avenging Force props.
And Avenging Force and all that kinds of stuff. On where some stuff's going to end up happening. This includes if I'm able to get a line of sight without proccing your stuff with the Hydrix for the AoEs.
I think we end up agreeing that half that unit is just out of my control.
Yes, and we validated to make sure that how like the actual forest was in coordination with the river thing right there.
So that forest actually goes a little bit further than it originally appears. It's real goofy.
So here we go. I do end up going ahead and setting up my ambush. And then we also had the conversation that these guys are going to go ahead and get the duck and cover card when they go ahead and move into position, because even if you decided to bring in your pigs against them to try to throw stuff at them, at least now they're in cover and blast resistant. So, because since they're stealth, I mean, like, it helps out with that, but then blast can still overall kill them. But having that resistance on them actually makes them a little bit more durable in this area. On top of if the guys decide to charge over to me and use guns, then maybe at least I can survive some of the guns. So we go ahead and start looking through the death dealers, because I believe that I need to at least put stuff in the middle of the board for you to eat, so that you don't just necessarily for free take the objectives. So I am able to go ahead and I put the death dealers up there. I am able to get the one guy forward enough to go ahead and make an attack. And fairly certain I just missed. Whiffed the roll completely. And so here comes the dice tray. Yes, here comes the dice tray. Thanks, Erica. And so they're in the way. It's kind of like their whole thing there. If I was able to like hit somebody and get grievous wounds off because of your tough rolls and stuff like that, then fantastic. But a miss is a miss. So we go ahead and move the Hydrix. I go ahead and make sure I have range, and we take a shot at one of the trolls over there that is not underneath at your control range. And I go ahead and boost the initial shot. But we've had the conversation before that I keep forgetting that this thing has future sight natively, so I don't have to... I can just look for hard rolls to keep the fury down, because Chimera has a weird time about their fury management. So I did roll the second, the damage roll into that, and then I was 1 point shy, so I was like, okay, I'll boost it. Now I'll boost it on back end, so that it'll
and then you
hit the guy.
You cranked those blast damage rolls too. I think I got 2 lucky toughs, but otherwise and then you're obliterating that unit.
Yeah. After everything was said and done with the Hydrix doing its thing, I removed 4 of the 6 models. After using the future sight to make sure that the blast damage is able to exceed your armor, so that we can go ahead and get them removed. And then, because I killed them, Warpath triggers, and I back up. Because there's not necessarily any real reason for me just to kind of let some random thing in the back end charge up into. So, here I do... The rest of my turn is kind of just shuffling a little bit to get into some positions that I feel are going to be useful on the next turn, because I know once you clash into me, I need to be able to, number one, not just straight up get killed with all of my stuff, because if I just lose half of my battle group, then I'm out of the game anyway. So I take a little bit more time to figure out exactly where everybody's going to be standing and hiding. The Vipix that has Hunter's Mark on it moves up and gets behind the Hydrix, which then Rassyk will go ahead and get behind this wall here to go ahead and get some cover against some shots. We are going to feat with that beautiful Storm Legion feat token to give me a defensive strike on everybody within 12 inches. So that's the entire battle group, and then I think 2 of the quick strike guys, or the quick fang guys. So, but it probably won't matter too much to them. Then we go ahead and make sure that I have the battle plan up for the +2 armor, no knockdown again, and make sure that Carnivore is up on the other Vipix with the Impalers. It will move up and get face to face with Rassyk so that he can get the plus armor and no knockdown.
All right, we're into my maintenance phase. I think you killed more of the Tapper unit than I thought, but it did actually proc Avenging Force, because I think you killed more than you thought too.
Yes, because a guy died that was in control that I wasn't targeting.
Sometimes POW 8 blast damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll murder armor 13. It's pretty good.
Especially when I can future sight.
Yeah, so I was debating a little bit during your turn, but I think I'm just going to ambush on myself, just so I can score that zone in the lower right. This is the turn where the kill box moves up, and we can start scoring, and then the 40mm bases actually move up every time you score. Turns out, after turn 4, the person who's moved their 40mm zone furthest gets an extra 3 points, which is sort of game-winning. What I'm doing here is I'm moving my Tapper unit up. The guys that are left is just the Tapper and 1 single solitary Marauder. They mini-feat Repo 3, just so I don't have to give you everything, so I can spread out, so you can't AoE them to death again. So hopefully I can contest over 2 turns. Just give you more things to think about. I noticed in the middle of the table, you didn't really give me a whole lot. So I think taking those 250 mils is a good idea. I can't really do it with the light, unfortunately. So if I wanted to take them both with a single model, I'd have to kind of give you my heavy, which I don't really want to do either. So I'm kind of playing around with it. I'm going early with Boomy because I know you have defensive strike on everything. So getting my defense up with my feet would be helpful. So I have to go early with Boomy, so I can't really rotate Fortune around like I would like to. She's going to give everybody Tactician this turn. She kept both spells. One was for free from Arcane Support from Moriarty, and she spent 1. So she started with 6. I believe she Rough Seized this turn. She walked over, Tacticianed, and took a pot shot at that guy that's not quite in the woods. Because she sees through all her friends at the seashore.
Seashells through the seashore, yes.
She spikes the hell out of her damage roll after I boost damage and murders that man with a power 12.
Another 8 hit point model.
She says it's
fine.
8 hit points, isn't it?
It's great.
She's having a great time. So I need to clear this last guy in order to clear up my Quartermaster unit, so I have Harger charge through his friends and murder that guy with a power 13 Weapon Master. I think you do hit him?
I get a defensive strike off, so I hit him, but I don't succeed.
Yeah. He's got 8 boxes too, so he's pretty tough to kill with just a regular non-charge attack. So at this point, I've cleared off my Quartermaster unit that are all spread all over the place, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to send them. I would love to send them on either one of your what's the light beast called? I would love to send them on either your bottom Vipex or your top Vipex, because those are the ones that have buffs on them. I would love to take that away from you so you can't rotate that, but I don't really have a good angle on either one. I think you positioned them well enough where I just can't get to them. Yeah, I can't quite.
That was my plan all
along. Can't quite
along.
reach at threat 10, unfortunately. So I think what I end up doing, after hemming and hawing plenty, is I give the Pathfinder card to this front guy so he can charge his full 9. and then I charge the Hydrix. I screwed this up a little bit. I wasn't sure whether I had distance to get to that Vipix in the back. Oh, sorry. Rick is allowing me to do all the things I'm supposed to do. I'm a former Protectorate player, and I used to do this with my choir all the time.
I'm letting him cheat.
The Booty Boss gives them Fury Strength, and then Madame Moriarty Spell Slaves. The other one that's not Fury Strength, that's also +2 to your first melee damage roll. Then I do the charge in, and I bring the Quartermaster right up front, because he's got a nice spray. And then I bring all my friends that all have to be within 2 inches of that first guy who charges. Unfortunately, I measure out a little bit too far for my control range, so a couple of these guys are not going to be in that control range, which isn't good for defensive strike time.
And I got a few of them.
Yeah, you got quite a few of them. So I clock it over to Rick, and now it's his turn for a little bit.
Yep, so we go ahead and start making our attacks into these guys. Unfortunately, I believe for the most part, I'm just straight up not cracking armor. I lied. I cracked one.
Yeah, you murdered that guy.
That guy died. You rolled your tough check, and I was like, silence death.
No, you're right. You picked the right rack spell.
I did. So, and then I believe everyone else misses, because like when other guys over a wall, 2 of the attacks would be over the wall and things like that. So, yeah. So we just pocket back to Andy and let him ensue with his turn.
Yeah, these guys. I've mini-feeded with the Quartermaster, which is I think Black Powder or something like that. It's +2/+2. It's basically a money shot for all their range attacks. So right now, with Gang, they are +6 damage on their melee attacks, and they are +2 damage on their ranged attacks. So this is about as strong as Marauders can get offensively. So they're charging with power 17s. The Quartermaster is going to spray down that line, trying to spray down the 2 beasts and the... what is that guy called? Shadowmancer.
Yeah, those things die.
Yeah, especially the sprays, because their only defense is really just being stealth and annoying and
they're
out of
only
the way.
armor 13. It's not enough.
So I think I end up killing this Hydrix on like 3 charges.
Yes, I think it was 3. The first hit, because you had 2 sprays, then the charges.
Yeah, and both sprays were power 14s.
Yeah, and it's only dice off 4.
And all of the pistol shots were also power 14s. So when I do a charge, I have to finish his activation. So I charge him with the sword, and then I gut shot him with a pistol, and that's also a power 14. Quartermaster's very strong right now.
Yes.
He's probably worth his 4 points as long as you can get him there. And most of his unit. I think the rest of these guys that didn't get to... Maybe the 1 or 2 that didn't get to charge are just going to... or have their model not in charge range anymore, are just popping shots at the Vipix that was in the back, trying to finish it off with power 14s. I don't think I quite finish it, unfortunately.
No, because we had the one guy...
And this is where I may have mispositioned that front guy, because he's just out of 1 of that Vipix.
Because then he would have had his charge attack on that Vipix, which likely would have finished him off. And then here's the hidden models from Ambush.
Yeah, now I ambush on myself. And now I score this. So now I think I'm realizing scenario should be my main focus at this point, where I think I can just shove a bunch of dudes in your face under feet and say, I'm going to score a bunch of points, and hopefully you can't also do that on your turn. So I'm realizing that maybe I do just throw both beasts up and score both of those 50s. So I'm trying to figure out where the most annoying place is for my gremlins. These pigs are... They very rarely make attacks in this game, like in any game I play, but they are so annoying under Boomy Feet. They have annoyance, like innately. They have annoyance, and their defense 16 right now under Boomy Feet. I think I moved 1 or 2 too far out.
It don't matter
as well, so 1 or 2 is only going to be defense 14. But over the wall at defense 16, 17 with annoyance, it's just so obnoxious to deal with. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my beasts. I'm trying to figure out if I can finish off that Vipix with a couple boxes left with that light beast. I don't think I can quite get there. just not going to work out. So I determined that, yes, just scoring with it and maybe taking a pot shot at Belagul or somebody is the best option. Because I got to put Fury out anyway. Might as well get some work out of him. So he moves up 5. He says, who's in 15 inches? Some stealth guys. Cool.
Yep.
Is Belagul stealth?
Yes.
Is he stealth? What? You told me he wasn't stealth.
No, he is stealth. Yeah, you used AoE damage on him.
Oh, I just boosted blast damage?
Yes, you did.
A boosted 7 killed him?
Yes, we had this. We had this conversation.
That man needs to work out. I'm sorry.
Do you see how plump his belly is? Yeah, he is. If he gets shot, it's not a good time.
You're right, because I only put 2 Fury on there. I didn't boost a hit. That's interesting.
No, because you knew you were going to miss. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just boosted blast damage.
You boosted the blast damage because he's only armor 12 with 5 boxes. It's not enough to save him. Like that's why he stays behind walls and stuff. But AOE's just don't care. You
right. So I ran my pig cannon crew up. They haven't done anything this game, but they're just blocking sight lines to Boomy to try and make sure hopefully she stays alive. She's camping on 2 right now. And then I captured the cache with my other unit, effectively kind of taking them out of the game. But right now I'm just focusing real hard on scenario. This is top of 3. I think I'm up 4-0.
It's 4-0. So I take a long time in the tank for this particular turn. I'm definitely looking at, can I clear out some things, because of how far the Vipix get, they can, with a Warpath trigger, which I have plenty of models in front of me to trigger Warpath, the Vipix can go 16 inches, but I need things out of my way to make that 16 inches work most effectively. So some of this might be like, okay, I need to attack over a wall. Some of this might be like, okay, the Vipix over here comes over the other side and does this. And then, because charging 16 inches and then still having 8 inches of sidestep movement is very, very threatening. I
think you're doing this for like 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there the whole time going, Boomy's probably dead. It'll be fine.
Yeah, the fact that these things can get so far, and this also includes with Hunter's Mark. Like, it takes a bunch to get there, but like Hunter's Mark just has to hit the heavy, or like something like that, and just to get that 16 inches over that way, to make all of this some of this stuff happen. And then we also have a conversation about, well, do I maybe just try to kill enough of your stuff and then get back into the gather some points to potentially make the game go one more turn, and then do you have enough to still deal with what I have remaining? And I go back and forth, and you graciously have this conversation with me because I'm going quite back and forth, being that I'm still relatively new to Chimera in general. And we just have this huge conversation about how like Rassyk can get over here and then the Vipix can get over there, and it's really close that like I would almost just be able to straight up charge Boomhowler herself if I wasn't necessarily completely behind that forest. But then again, it was, well, maybe Warpath triggers, and this. And we go through the whole thing, and it's just so many options that we measure it out. And, like, so the Vipix, he gets right here. And then still sidestep. And I think we figured it out that it only takes, 2 sidesteps?
I think it's only 2 sidesteps.
And then, because I would use the one of the 1-inch melee attacks to attack your solo, sidestep, use a Impaler to attack your beast, and then the second sidestep would allow me to get the second Impaler and then my bite onto Boomhowler plus 3 attacks. But then we also had the conversation that, well, she's sitting at defense 16?
17 under feet right now.
Right, so even if I put up Carnivore, I still need to roll 8s to hit her, and I only have 5 attacks.
You know what's really funny too? If you're within 1 inch of her, she's also annoying.
That's annoying. Dun-dun-dun.
I think it's supposed to be the octopus. I'm not sure, or
Probably.
if he's just annoying. I'm not sure.
She just talks a lot.
She just yells at you. She's
Yes.
kind of a fell caller, but not quite.
She's an admiral. Of course she's yelling. So, I'm pulling my hair at this point because I'm just like, where do I go? Because of the scenario presence that you've provided as quickly as you did, which is not necessarily surprising, but I don't know that there was anything I could do about it because of how paper the Vipix armor is. Like, their defense is 14, but the armor is only 17. It's not anything that's going to last against even like a bunch of charging infantry, which you have plenty of.
Yeah, with Harger being alive and being +1 to hit on all of my Marauders, it makes them so accurate with gang.
Very accurate. So we go through the whole thing, and I finally end up just deciding that I'm going to go ahead and upkeep Warpath and Silence of Death, because I need to make sure that Tough doesn't happen this turn. I believe the first move that I end up doing is we go ahead and we have Rassyk act like Rassyk, and he's going to go beat stuff up. So and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm still in my control phase. Apparition.
We're still in control phase, boys and girls.
So I make sure that happens again as a just in case to kind of make keep them going forward as needed. We make sure that I'm not in the kill box. So do you. And then we go ahead and get Rassyk going. So I go ahead and I put up Tactician for the turn because everything's kind of blocked up. I'm going to end up getting in my own way to make some of this happen. So then Rassyk moves over. And really interesting thing for him that I think this is kind of fun is that he can walk into place, just like I'm doing, and he has sidestep on his weapon, or on himself for making initial attacks, but he only has one initial attack. But because he has Flashing Blade, I can cast this spell first to try to clear out a bunch of stuff first, hope that something's still there after the fact, to then take my initial attack on it, to then sidestep into more people.
Which you did perfectly, because you can't see that pig behind that one Marauder
Correct.
below the one I'm pointing at, and that guarantees that you're going to have something to
Still
use your initial on sidestep and then just murder a bunch of pigs.
Yep.
It's a good play.
I also put the Savagery card onto him, so that way you're not getting any tough rolls on any of these things. I did miss 2 of the trolls when I was trying to make my rolls to attack them. I did get the critical decap on your attachment there, though, so that was a little bit of a justice in that regard.
Yeah, he's deceptive. He's armor 17 with 8 boxes. Like he's much hardier than the rest of the Marauders.
Yep. So then Rassyk goes and makes all of his attacks. Does another Flashing Blade here, and he just he does Rassyk's things. He's
even though he's annoyed, he murders everyone.
Right. He still murders everybody. Even under annoyance, having it be a mat 7 still. It's still fine, and he's able to go ahead and clear out that entire area to kind of start this plan of attrition and trying to get a couple points on here. The next thing is, and we talked about this a little bit later. I warpath the Vipix to get a little bit closer, because this is the Vipix that's going to get over towards the other objective here, to try to clear it out so I can try to attempt to score it. This here was a mistake in this particular spot, is that I went to go ahead and do a Hunter's Mark, and I just kind of inched forward this beast after healing it with Rassyk, because it lost its body, to get Hunter's Mark up. I inched it up, threw Hunter's Mark, rolled double once, missed the beast. What should have happened, because now I have a troll that's in that water in my way, this Vipix that has Hunter's Mark should have charged over to grab that troll that's sitting there in the water, kill it, hopefully with 3 attacks, and then throw Hunter's Mark out there on the other guy. And then it probably still ends up being the same thing. I rolled my trip 1s for the boosted Hunter's Mark and the whole thing. But at least that model's now dead. Because what I end up doing here is I use... so I get line of sight with the quick fangs here on that troll, because I'm like, okay, so this guy needs to die too, because I need him out of the way to get to kind of where I need to be, and that he's not like threatening different places. And so I charge him with that to get a couple guys on there, and then try to go ahead and still contest my objective here. This is a huge mistake as far as like after talking about the game for me, because I should have just killed the guy to score the point this turn, because I only need to score 2 points for the turn for it to make it extend another round. So getting this point off the board for myself as quickly as I did in the turn was not good. So I go ahead and start making my attacks into the troll. Because of your feat, I believe I missed the first attack. I then go ahead and get my next shot in here. We do end up making her trigger a tough roll, and it toughs, but then because of dual attack on the quick fangs, I am able to go ahead and just shoot it with a dart and just do the auto point of damage into it.
That second roll was not another tough roll, it was just the second part of Boomy's feat, which is you get to heal. So yes. She's still lying on the ground, but she was on 4 health, but it didn't help her at all.
Yeah, so, because, yeah, then I did the melee attack to finish her off with, yeah. So then we start looking over here at the Vipix, because we're talking about if it could just kind of, like, it can move in, staying in base to base, but then it would be within 1 inch still after getting over that wall. So I moved the Vipix over here, and my intention is to go ahead and start sidestepping some of this stuff. But again... I believe I'm able to kill the 2 of them. Oh no, I'm able to knock down the one on the other side of the wall, sidestep over. I was trying to see if there was any way that I could get away with like not getting an annoyance, but I was like, you know what, there's no way. So we start making other attacks. 10 was just enough to hit them because they're 16. I drop down to a 6. We're able to drop him. I buy another attack. Boost this attack because I need 10s to hit these guys. This one toughs again. I'm able to go ahead and make another attack onto it, exceed its armor, and then I sidestep, contesting this zone here because my intention is to try to score the one that was has the heavy on it, and power 19s on the claws. I figured that probably a charge and 4 other power 19s onto this heavy would probably be enough at dice +1. But
big thing here is Boomy's feat making it defense 14.
Boomy's big defense 14, and I'm able to hard roll the 7 on the first hit and do 15.
You crank the shit of it. It's
crank
like
the crap.
It's only armor 18.
Right. So it's like the thought process is that probably 3 attacks hit, and with dice +1, with that kind of roll, I should be okay. But then I proceed to miss the next 4 attacks.
Yeah, you need a hard. You're hard rolling 7s here, right?
Right, because at this point it was, it got to the point that I was missing attacks that boosting didn't make sense anymore because I was out of initials. So I just had to just keep rolling, trying to roll for those hard 7s to see if it would end up working out in my favor. It obviously did not. So at this particular point is when we got to the end of. There's no way for me to clear anything else off to score enough to actually do anything. So the last thing that I do is I make sure that the Shadowmancers get to be able to play in the game still. We were talking about maybe running them over there potentially, but there was no way they were going to run. So I just like, alright, they're going to move here, and then they're going to spell this last little troll dead, because that's all that they can do now. And
you're just being vindictive at this point.
Yeah, I was. 100%. And then, again, we had the conversation of, is there anything else we can do? And we called it there.
So I think I'm not going to say my list counters your list, but I think you need to get so much work out of each individual model compared to the quantity of models that I have on the table.
We had a conversation, actually pretty at length at the end of this game. There was a few things that I did wrong in my inexperience with Chimera. That
also the experience with this scenario packet.
This scenario packet also.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like, this is so much different.
My game plan from the get-go, from deployment, should have been Andy's getting the cash. End of story. And because that's only 1 point. So if I'm able to send myself farther to what the orientation would have been the top of the table, so my left of the table, I have more to deal with my own 40mm as far as units. Like the Shadowmancers could have been there instead. And then my ambush unit could have been used to distract your objective.
My scoring 40mm, yeah. I agree.
So I would have been able to slow that down, because with the combination of having the Savagery card and Silence of Death in my build, your tough doesn't matter so much, and the beasts that would go into those models hit so much higher than what you would necessarily expect them to do. I can clear tons of models off the board. It's the tough that slows me down, but because I can negate them in such a large amount, it's huge. Like the fact that Rassyk killed what did he kill? Like 8 models?
Yeah, at least.
On his own?
It is really funny just because, like, essentially, I don't care how hard you hit. A power 16 and a power 19 is exactly the same to me. You're going to kill my dude.
Right,
like,
the thing's going to die.
It does not matter.
You're hoping to slow me down with tough rolls because of the bodies that you have, and that's exactly kind of what happened outside of when I had Silence of Death and Savagery. Because, like, the Hydrix, being able to kill, like, basically that whole unit in a single activation is...
Yeah, I did not want a second round of that Hydrix shooting. That would have... removing most of a unit a turn is not okay when I have 3 units of those guys. Like, that's not good.
So, if I would have played farther to my left, then I think the game changes a little bit, because then I'm only sacrificing 1 point, maybe 2, because of how the turns would kind of work themselves out, instead of 4, which then I think extends the game at least 1 more round, which I think
there was a fun little nook there right next to the guard tower that you could either score or contest from that I have a tough time getting to.
Probably, yeah.
So if you swing hard that way and you at least contest that, essentially I can only really score 2 points, 3 points if I get the cash on 1 turn. But it at least keeps you scoring points and in the game and making sure that I don't go up too far before the game accelerates.
Yes. But yeah, so it's definitely a playable game for Chimera. It's just my own inexperience with the Steamroller packet and with how some of the Chimera stuff still works together.
All right, well, we're only on episode 2 of this season, so
don't worry. I still have 2 more casters that I have to learn to play with the other 2 casters that I have to learn to play because of the January update for Storm Legion.
We're all learning together. I'm not looking forward to getting Shadow Tongue on this channel. I am fumbling with him. So, he is so good, but I'm
excited.
My brain is not wrinkly enough for Shadow Tongue. He is hard to play.
Sparkhammer is easy to play. Cast all the spells, go up the board.
Yeah, big electric, big.
Love it.
All right, well, the Signar coin stays in my hands
for now.
You can always challenge me again.
I will. It'll be a Sparkhammer.
And I'll probably lose.
We'll see.
All right, good game, man.
Good game, buddy.
See you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to check out some additional content, including the original video and audio of our battle reports to support the channel, please click our Patreon link in the video description below. If there are any factions, warcasters, or warlocks you would like to see on the channel, please let us know in the comments. And as always, we'll see you on the next Tried and True Battle Report.